Have you ever found yourself squinting at the morning newspaper, the letters blurring just enough to cause frustration? Or perhaps the once vibrant colors of an evening sunset now seem a little dimmer, a little less defined? For many individuals navigating the rich tapestry of life between the ages of 65 and 85, a gradual decline in visual clarity can feel like an unwelcome, yet seemingly inevitable companion to aging. The world, once sharp and vivid, might slowly be losing its edge. You might find yourself instinctively holding books or menus at arm's length, or notice that nighttime driving, once a simple task, now feels fraught with a subtle anxiety. These aren't just minor inconveniences. They can profoundly impact our daily joy, our independence, and our connection to the world around us. But what if there was a whisper of hope, a simple, natural approach that some individuals champion, a remedy you could explore from the comfort of your own home, potentially offering a measure of protection and comfort for your precious eyesight? This isn't about a miraculous overnight cure, nor is it a dismissal of conventional medical wisdom. Instead, we delve into a surprisingly straightforward combination that has garnered quiet attention, particularly among those seeking gentle, supportive methods for their eye health: castor oil and baking soda. This blend, often discussed by wellness educators like Barbara O'Neill, is gaining traction among a generation that values natural alternatives and desires to support their well-being without resorting to invasive procedures, potent pharmaceuticals, or costly, often unproven supplements. Whether you approach this with a healthy dose of skepticism or an open, curious mind, journey with us. Today, you might unearth insights that could genuinely make a difference in how you perceive not just the world, but your own body's capacity for comfort and resilience. We will explore 8 crucial aspects of this traditional approach, from understanding the potential mechanisms at play to learning how to safely try it, and hearing about the experiences of others in your age group who have ventured down this path. Each point is designed to build a comprehensive understanding of why this method has cultivated a loyal, albeit quiet following, and why it might just merit your thoughtful consideration. Stay with us until the very end, because beyond discovering how this one-week exploration could potentially support your vision against further decline, you'll hopefully walk away with something even more profound: a renewed confidence in your ability to actively participate in your health journey, even as the years gracefully unfold. 1. Castor oil, a centuries-old soother for tired, aging eyes. One of the first questions that often arises is, why castor oil? Of all the natural substances available, what makes this viscous, pale yellow liquid a recurring theme in conversations about eye health and general wellness? Its history is not a fleeting trend. Castor oil has been a staple in traditional medicine cabinets across diverse cultures for centuries, a trusted ally passed down through generations who relied on nature's pharmacy. What imbues it with its special reputation isn't merely its natural origin, but its inherent gentleness and profound soothing capabilities, especially for aging eyes that have witnessed decades of sunlight, endured countless hours of strain from reading or screens, and perhaps haven't always received the restorative benefits of consistent deep sleep. If your eyes frequently feel parched, gritty, irritated, or simply fatigued by the day's end, castor oil might offer a dimension of comfort you haven't yet considered. Its richness, primarily due to a high concentration of ricinoleic acid, an unsaturated omega-9 fatty acid, gives it a uniquely thick consistency. This very thickness allows it to act as an excellent emollient and occlusive, meaning it can help to seal in moisture, providing a protective barrier against the environmental factors that contribute to dryness, a condition that often becomes more pronounced as we age. Imagine a gentle, hydrating veil for your eyes, offering respite from the persistent irritation that can cloud your day. It's the kind of subtle, deep comfort that you might not fully appreciate until you experience its absence. Now, some may naturally feel apprehensive about applying anything near the delicate eye area, assuming that such remedies must be inherently complex or carry significant risks. However, when we speak of castor oil for this purpose, we are referring to a specific grade, pharmaceutical grade, cold-pressed, and hexane-free. Cold-pressed signifies that the oil is extracted without heat, preserving its beneficial compounds, while hexane-free ensures no harsh chemical solvents were used in its processing. This type of castor oil has been carefully utilized by older adults who consciously prefer to avoid synthetic chemicals and seek more natural avenues for relief. A single, judiciously applied drop, gently massaged around the eyelids, never directly into the eye, with a clean finger or a soft cotton swab before bedtime, can act almost like a soothing balm. Its benefits extend beyond merely softening the skin. It is believed to help calm the entire periorbital area. Wellness educator Barbara O'Neill, whose teachings have resonated with many seeking natural health solutions, often speaks of castor oil not as a standalone panacea, but as an integral component of an overall lifestyle geared towards holistic healing and supporting the body's innate restorative processes. While not every mainstream medical practitioner will immediately endorse such traditional remedies, the anecdotal evidence is compelling. You will find countless personal stories from individuals who attest to its remarkable ability to diminish that uncomfortable, gritty, dry eye sensation that so frequently accompanies the aging process. Consider this. Your eyes are tireless servants, diligently working every waking moment, reading, watching, adjusting to fluctuating light conditions, often remaining open long after they yearn for rest. They don't merely require stronger prescriptions as time goes on. They also crave comfort, hydration, and relief. The surprising truth is that this relief doesn't always necessitate a pill or an invasive procedure. Sometimes it can be found in a humble bottle, a testament to nature's gentle efficacy, offering your body just enough support to initiate its own natural repair. That is the promise of castor oil. Not magic, but gentle, consistent, supportive help. If you've never considered it, perhaps this is the week to tune in and discover what your eyes have been quietly asking for. Have you found this exploration of castor oil's traditional benefits insightful? If the idea of a gentle, natural moisturizer for tired eyes resonates with you, please comment with the number 1 below. We love knowing what aspects are most helpful to our community. 2. Baking soda's quiet power. A gentle ally in topical application. Most of us associate baking soda, sodium bicarbonate, with the familiar box kept in the refrigerator to absorb odors, or its indispensable role in baking. Its presence in the realm of natural health practices, however, is often less recognized, yet it boasts a long and varied history, particularly as our bodies navigate the changes that come with aging. Over time, factors such as chronic stress, the consumption of highly processed foods, and even certain medications can contribute to shifts in the body's delicate balance. Some proponents of natural wellness believe that fostering a more balanced environment, both internally and, importantly for our discussion, externally, can support overall bodily function, which may extend to the health of our eyes. To be unequivocally clear, when discussing baking soda in this context, we are not advocating for the ingestion of large quantities. That is not the intended message, nor is it a safe practice without medical guidance. What figures like Barbara O'Neill and other natural health advocates suggest is a far gentler, more nuanced application. Using baking soda topically in very small, carefully measured amounts and thoughtfully combined with castor oil. Together, these two simple ingredients form a unique paste. The theory behind this combination is that the baking soda, with its mildly alkaline properties, may help to gently draw out impurities from the skin around the eyes, potentially calm localized inflammation, and even support healthy circulation in this delicate area. There's a reason folk wisdom has long included baking soda baths for soothing sore muscles or applying it as a paste to ease skin irritations. When used appropriately and externally in diluted forms, it is not typically harsh or abrasive. Rather, its action is often described as balancing or neutralizing. And when you are navigating your 70s or 80s, balance is precisely what your body often craves. Not extreme measures or forceful interventions, but gentle corrections where they are most needed. Some older adults who have experimented with this specific topical combination report a sensation of lightness or enhanced clarity around their eyes after just a few days of consistent, gentle application. They describe their eyes feeling less heavy, less prone to irritation, almost as if they've experienced a profound and restorative rest. These changes may not be dramatic or instantaneous, but in the journey of health, particularly in our later years, it's often the accumulation of small, positive shifts that can lead to significant, tangible improvements in well-being. Moreover, the benefits aren't always confined to the physical. When individuals embrace natural remedies that encourage them to be more attuned to their bodies, something subtle yet powerful often occurs internally. It's as if they reestablish a connection with their own inherent capacity for healing, a renewed sense of agency over their physical state. That feeling of control and active participation can be incredibly potent. So how is this topical blend typically prepared and used? The general approach involves mixing a very small pinch, truly a tiny amount, of food-grade baking soda with a few drops of high-quality castor oil until it forms a smooth, gentle paste. This paste is then carefully dabbed around the eye area, on the eyelids and under-eye skin, never directly inside the eyes. This is typically done at night before bed. Of course, a patch test on a small area of skin elsewhere on the body is always a prudent first step, and scrupulous cleanliness of hands and any applicators is paramount. It is vital to acknowledge that this specific remedy is not currently endorsed by mainstream medical consensus. It is not a prescription, nor is it presented as a cure for any diagnosed eye condition. Rather, it represents an avenue that individuals are exploring because they seek options, particularly options that feel gentle and empowering. At this stage in life, when choices can sometimes feel increasingly narrow, discovering another potential path to try can be like a breath of fresh air, an opportunity to engage with one's health in a new yet timeless way. If you're finding these insights into the potential topical uses of baking soda alongside castor oil valuable, and if this information resonates with your interest in gentle, natural approaches, please let us know by commenting with the number 2 below. And if you haven't already, we warmly invite you to subscribe to our channel and activate the notification bell. Your support is invaluable and enables us to continue creating content designed to inform, inspire, and empower our community. 3. Barbara O'Neill's natural remedy philosophy, listening to the body's wisdom. Barbara O'Neill did not set out with the grand ambition of becoming a household name among older adults seeking pathways to natural healing. Yet, over time, her straightforward, common-sense approach to wellness began to resonate deeply with a growing audience. Unlike many voices in the health sphere that often promote complex, multi-step routines or advocate for expensive, sometimes difficult-to-source supplements, Barbara's core message has consistently revolved around a few fundamental principles. Listening intently to your body's signals, utilizing what is readily and naturally available, and fostering a profound trust in the body's inherent wisdom and capacity to heal itself when provided with the right supportive conditions. What makes her message particularly potent and appealing for individuals in their later years is its respectful and empowering tone. It doesn't patronize or assume that aging inevitably equates to a decline in vitality or an acceptance of diminishing capabilities. Instead, it honors the incredible journey our bodies have undertaken, carrying us through decades filled with hard work, stress, joy, love, and loss. It posits that perhaps, just perhaps, what these resilient bodies now require is not an escalation of medication or intervention, but an increase in gentle, mindful care and nourishment. When Barbara O'Neill discusses remedies like the castor oil and baking soda combination for eye comfort, she does so without making extravagant promises of miraculous cures. She is consistently clear on this point. Her perspective is rooted in the idea of creating optimal conditions for the body to undertake the tasks it is naturally programmed to do: repair, restore, and release what no longer serves it. Specifically concerning eye health, her focus extends beyond mere visual acuity. She encourages a holistic understanding, considering factors such as circulation to the delicate eye tissues, managing intraocular pressure within normal, healthy ranges supported by gentle means, ensuring adequate hydration, and acknowledging the intricate role of the nervous system in how our eyes function and perceive the world. Barbara often emphasizes that the area surrounding the eyes is exceptionally delicate and intricately connected to the rest of the body's systems. When this sensitive region is subjected to stressors, be it environmental toxins, chronic sleep deprivation, excessive screen time, or underlying inflammation, it communicates its distress through various signals. If these subtle, or not so subtle, signals are consistently ignored, the perceived decline in function can feel more rapid and pronounced than it might otherwise be. Her suggestion to combine castor oil with a touch of baking soda, applied externally around the eyes, is intended to serve as a gentle reset, a subtle wake-up call to the tissues, nerves, and blood vessels that may have been overworked, undernourished, or have accumulated mild congestion over years of service. It is not presented as an instantaneous fix, but rather as a proactive step, a simple, hands-on method to begin paying closer, more compassionate attention to this vital sensory organ. There is something profoundly empowering in this approach, particularly for many seniors. So much of conventional healthcare can at times feel passive, waiting for test results, waiting for appointments, waiting for external directives. This type of natural remedy, however, flips that dynamic. It places a measure of control and initiative back into your own hands. It communicates a powerful message. You can try this. You can observe its effects on your own body. You can make an informed decision based on your experience. In a world where individuals, especially as they age, can often feel that control is slipping away, regaining even a small degree of agency over one's well-being is no small thing. Barbara O'Neill's philosophy is not about fostering an anti-doctor sentiment or rejecting the invaluable contributions of medical science. Far from it. It's about complementing established medical care with timeless wisdom. Wisdom gleaned not just from textbooks, but from generations of observation, from seeing what genuinely works for real people over extended periods. For many seniors, this kind of experiential wisdom feels familiar, trustworthy, and deeply resonant. It often feels like returning to a form of gentle, intuitive self-care. So, if you've been feeling as though you've exhausted the simple options for supporting your vision, or if you're weary of trying interventions that seem to leave you with more unwelcome side effects than tangible benefits, perhaps Barbara's quiet, no-pressure way of thinking about health and healing is precisely the perspective you've been seeking. Does Barbara O'Neill's philosophy of gentle, body-wise healing resonate with you? If you appreciate this approach to natural wellness, please share your thoughts by commenting with the number 3 below. We value hearing from you. 4. The allure of the gentle path, why older adults increasingly trust non-invasive natural solutions. As the chapters of life unfold and we accumulate years, a subtle but significant shift often occurs in our approach to health and well-being. Our tolerance for invasive medical treatments, medications with extensive lists of potential side effects, and complicated, demanding daily routines tends to diminish. And this shift is not without sound reason. The body, having weathered decades, simply doesn't possess the same rapid bounce-back capacity it might have had in earlier years. A surgical procedure that might have felt like a manageable interruption in one's 40s can present as a formidable mountain to climb in one's 70s or 80s. Side effects from medications that once seemed minor or transient can now linger longer, impacting daily quality of life more profoundly. It is against this backdrop that the appeal of natural, non-invasive remedies becomes not merely a matter of preference for many adults between the ages of 65 and 85, but a reflection of deep-seated practicality and a desire for gentle efficacy. There is an inherent comfort and profound simplicity in knowing that you can explore a supportive measure without simultaneously courting significant risks of harm or unwelcome complications. This is one of the primary reasons why methods like the topical application of castor oil and baking soda have been quietly gaining popularity within this demographic. It isn't a flashy, heavily marketed trend, nor does it come with promises of instant, dramatic results. Its appeal lies in its humility, its accessibility, and the control it offers the individual. People often underestimate the cumulative exhaustion that can arise from the relentless cycle of chasing down specialist appointments, juggling multiple medications with complex schedules, and spending countless hours in waiting rooms, anxiously hoping for answers and relief. A pervasive sense of helplessness can begin to creep in, undermining one's spirit. However, when an individual is introduced to a safe, low-cost method that can be tried in the sanctuary and comfort of their own home, free from external pressure and with minimal perceived risks, it can reawaken a feeling that many older adults may not have experienced for years. A sense of agency, of being an active participant in their own care. This restoration of agency is incredibly significant. When you feel empowered to take an active role in your healing process, a fundamental shift occurs in your mindset. You transition from being a passive recipient of care, a patient in the truest sense of the word, to becoming an active, engaged participant. You begin to pay closer attention, to listen more acutely to your body's subtle cues, to tune in once again to its needs and responses. It is often in this space of mindful self-engagement that true healing, in its broadest sense, begins. Not just in the specific area of concern, like the eyes, but within the mind and heart as well. We have heard from individuals in their 70s and 80s who have shared that, Even if the physical results from trying such a method were subtle rather than dramatic, the very process of engaging in this act of self-care helped them reconnect with themselves on a deeper level. One gentleman in his early 80s, for instance, remarked that it wasn't solely his eyes that felt a measure of improvement. It was his overall morning disposition. The quiet, mindful moment before bed, gently applying the mixture, transformed into a nightly ritual, a ritual of care, of respect for his body, and of proactive engagement with his well-being. While the established medical system will and should always hold its vital place in addressing acute and serious health conditions, many older adults are rediscovering that there is also ample room for a quieter, more personal kind of medicine. This is the kind of medicine that doesn't necessarily come in a prescription bottle from a pharmacy, but manifests in the form of small, conscious daily choices that nurture and support. There is a profound, understated wisdom in choosing approaches that align with your body's natural pace and rhythms, rather than constantly pushing against them. Castor oil and baking soda, in this context, are not presented as magic bullets, but for some, they serve as a gentle reminder that healing doesn't always need to be loud, expensive, or fraught with difficulty. Sometimes it simply needs to be kind, patient, and self-directed. If you've experienced a similar draw towards gentler, more natural solutions as you've gotten older, or if you have a story about reclaiming a sense of agency over your health, we'd be honored if you shared your experience in the comments. Let us know if this resonates by typing "My Health Journey" in the comments. Your insights enrich our community, and if these shares are bringing value to you, please support the channel by hitting the like button, subscribing, and remembering to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss insightful content like this in the future. 5. A practical guide. Safely preparing and applying the castor oil and baking soda remedy. Now that we've explored the individual components of this traditional remedy and the philosophy underpinning its use, let's move to the practicalities. Understanding how to actually prepare and apply the castor oil and baking soda mixture is crucial, as many older adults understandably shy away from trying natural approaches simply because they feel unsure about the correct procedure or are concerned about safety. Our aim here is to make this part simple, clear, and reassuring, precisely as it should be when dealing with something as precious as your eyes. First and foremost, let's talk about sourcing your ingredients. The quality of the castor oil is paramount. You will want to look for castor oil that is specifically labeled as cold-pressed, 100% pure, and hexane-free. Cold-pressed indicates that the oil was extracted from the castor beans using mechanical pressure without the use of high heat, which helps to preserve its natural compounds, including ricinoleic acid. Hexane-free confirms that no chemical solvents like hexane were used during the extraction process, which is particularly important when applying something near a sensitive area like the eyes. Avoid castor oil that is labeled for industrial use or as a general cosmetic ingredient if it doesn't meet these purity standards. You are seeking the cleanest, simplest, and most unadulterated version available, often found in health food stores, well-stocked pharmacies, or reputable online retailers under descriptions like pharmaceutical grade or organic. Next is the baking soda. There's nothing exotic required here. Simple, food-grade baking soda, sodium bicarbonate, is what you need. This is the same kind that people commonly use for baking or keep in their refrigerators to neutralize odors. Ensure it is plain baking soda without any added fragrances, anti-caking agents, or other cleaning compounds. To prepare the blend, you'll need a small, clean glass or ceramic bowl. Mix a very tiny pinch of baking soda. Think less than 1/8 of a teaspoon, or even just what you can pick up between your thumb and forefinger, with a few drops of the castor oil. The precise ratio isn't rigidly scientific, but the goal is to create a soft, smooth paste that is neither too thick and clumpy, nor too thin and runny. If the mixture feels gritty or too dry, add another drop or two of castor oil. If it seems excessively watery or oily, add a fraction more baking soda. It should have a consistency that glides easily and gently across your fingertip without dragging on the skin. Before applying anything new near your eyes, it is always essential to perform a patch test. Dab a small amount of the prepared paste on a discrete area of skin, such as the inside of your wrist or behind your ear. Leave it for a few hours or even overnight if you have sensitive skin. Check the area for any signs of redness, itching, or irritation. If your skin remains calm and shows no adverse reaction, you are likely good to proceed with caution. Now for the application itself. Ensure your hands are scrupulously clean, and it's best if your face has been freshly washed and gently dried. Using a clean cotton swab, the very tip of your clean pinky finger, or even a soft, clean cloth, gently apply a thin layer of the paste around the outer edges of your eyes. This means on the eyelids, if comfortable, and the under eye area. Crucially, never apply the mixture directly into your eyes themselves. Focus on the skin surrounding the orbital bone, staying well away from the lash line and the delicate mucous membranes. The ideal time to do this is in the evening, right before you go to bed. This allows your body to shift into its natural repair and regeneration mode during sleep, giving the remedy several undisturbed hours to be absorbed and potentially exert its soothing effects. You might experience a slight sensation of warmth or gentle tingling upon application. This is often reported and generally considered normal. However, if you feel any burning, stinging, significant discomfort, or notice increased redness or watering, you should gently wash the mixture off immediately with lukewarm water and discontinue use. Listen to your body. It will tell you what's right for it. People who have incorporated this gentle nightly routine for a week or more often report noticing small but steady positive shifts. Their eyes feel less strained, less dry, and there's a subjective sense of lightness or clarity they hadn't experienced in a while. Beyond the physical sensations, there's often a profound sense of pride and accomplishment that comes from taking proactive steps for their own well-being, from following through with a commitment to self-care. It's a common misconception that we need drastic changes to feel better. So often, it's the consistent small things, the nightly rituals, the conscious, kind choices that begin to accumulate and make a meaningful difference. This remedy, when approached with care and respect, isn't just about tending to the eyes. It's about gently taking back a little piece of your health, and in doing so, taking back a little piece of yourself. If you're finding this detailed guide on preparation and application helpful and feel more confident about trying such an approach, please let us know by commenting with the number 5 below. Your feedback helps us ensure our information is clear and practical. And as always, if you haven't yet subscribed, we encourage you to do so and enable notifications so you don't miss out on future content designed to support your well-being. Number 6, voices of experience. What others aged 65 to 85 are noticing. It's one thing to learn about a potential remedy in theory, to understand its components and the rationale behind its use. It's an entirely different and often more compelling experience to hear how it plays out in the real lives of individuals, especially those who are navigating similar life stages and share a first-hand understanding of what it feels like to wake up one day and realize that your eyesight, once taken for granted, just isn't what it used to be. Over the past few years, a growing number of seniors have begun to explore the castor oil and baking soda method, not because it was aggressively promoted by large corporations or featured in primetime television advertisements, but often through quieter channels. A recommendation from a trusted friend, a shared article from a family member, or perhaps they stumbled across a personal story online that resonated with a deep, unspoken need within them. And what these individuals are often finding is not necessarily some miraculous instantaneous transformation that reverses decades of change, but something arguably far more valuable and sustainable. Steady, subtle, yet meaningful progress. Consider Mary, a vibrant 72-year-old who shared that she decided to try the routine primarily because her eyes constantly felt heavy and tired, especially by mid-afternoon, making her beloved reading sessions a strain. She embarked on the nightly application with modest expectations. However, after just 4 days, she noticed a distinct change. Her eyes didn't feel as parched and gritty. The almost imperceptible blurry film that seemed to settle over her vision in the evenings, particularly when she was tired, had started to lift. And perhaps more significantly than any single physical improvement, she felt a renewed sense of encouragement, a feeling that her small, consistent efforts were being acknowledged and responded to by her own body. Then there's Harold, a 78-year-old gentleman who candidly admitted he had been largely ignoring his escalating eye issues for several years. "I just figured it was an inevitable part of getting old, something I had to accept," he recounted. But when his daughter, concerned about his increasing reluctance to read or engage in his hobbies, gently told him about this simple remedy, he figured, "What have I got to lose? It can't hurt to try." Within a week of consistent nightly application around his eyes, the persistent redness that he often saw reflected in the mirror had noticeably faded. I can't sit here and say it fixed everything overnight. He added with characteristic honesty, but I definitely look more like my old self again, and my eyes feel more rested. Some seniors have even reported that the benefits they experienced extended beyond the immediate comfort of their eyes. They began to feel more generally in touch with their overall well-being. That dedicated 5 minutes of gentle self-care before bed evolved into a cherished ritual, something they genuinely looked forward to. It provided them with a structured reason to pause, to slow down at the end of a busy day, and to consciously treat themselves with kindness and attention. This kind of subtle shift in daily routine and self-perception might seem small from an external viewpoint, but it often has a positive ripple effect, influencing mood, stress levels, and overall outlook. One of the more touching stories came from Ruth, an 84-year-old who confessed she had been quite apprehensive about trying anything new for her eyes. "I've had some less than positive experiences with other things in the past," she shared, "so I was naturally hesitant. However, after reading more about Barbara O'Neill's holistic teachings and the gentle nature of the ingredients, she decided to give it a cautious try. By the 6th day, she made an entry in her personal journal. 'My eyes don't feel nearly as tired today. And interestingly, neither do I. There's a lightness.' These kinds of personal experiences are not, of course, substitutes for rigorous double-blind clinical trials. They don't come with statistical charts or precise percentages of efficacy, but they are undeniably real, profoundly honest. And for many people navigating life between the ages of 65 and 85, they carry a weight and a resonance that raw numbers often cannot convey. Because when you hear someone who is walking in your shoes, someone who understands the daily realities of aging, say, 'This simple thing helped me feel a bit better,' it grants you a kind of permission to hope again, to believe that improvement is still possible. It's crucial to understand that no one is claiming this is a guaranteed, universal fix. Not every pair of eyes will respond in precisely the same way, or even at all. But even the very act of trying, of consciously caring for yourself, of affirming, 'I'm not done taking care of my body, I am still invested in my well-being,' is in itself a powerful and therapeutic act. If you are someone who has been sitting on the sidelines, perhaps unsure whether these gentle, natural methods are worth your time and effort, maybe these shared experiences will help you see that healing and comfort don't always require a dramatic before and after. Sometimes it simply means feeling a little more like yourself again, a little more comfortable in your own skin, and a little more connected to your own resilient capacity for well-being. Have any of these stories resonated with your own experiences or hopes for your eye health? If you've tried a gentle remedy that brought you comfort, or if these accounts inspire you, please comment with the number 6 below. Sharing our journeys can be incredibly supportive. 7. Navigating expectations. When this remedy might help, and when it might not. It's perfectly natural to feel a surge of excitement and hope when you encounter information suggesting that something simple, accessible, and natural might genuinely make a positive difference to your well-being, especially concerning something as vital as your eyesight. However, it is equally important, if not more so, to approach such remedies with a balanced and realistic perspective. The castor oil and baking soda combination, while offering comfort to some, is not a universal solution for every eye issue. So let's take a thoughtful moment to delineate when this particular traditional remedy may offer helpful support, and critically, when it's essential to seek professional medical evaluation and look towards other established treatments. The kinds of eye-related discomforts that this gentle topical mixture seems best suited to support are generally those that are mild to moderate in nature. This often includes common age-related complaints such as dry eyes, characterized by a gritty, sandy, or burning sensation, general eye irritation, perhaps triggered by environmental factors like dust or dry air, occasional blurry vision that is often linked to eye fatigue rather than a structural problem with the eye itself, and an overall feeling of eye strain, particularly after prolonged periods of reading, computer use, or other visually demanding tasks. These are the types of issues that tend to creep up gradually as we age, frequently exacerbated by lifestyle factors such as excessive screen time, insufficient restorative sleep, or inadequate hydration. If your eyes frequently feel tired, itchy, heavy, or simply uncomfortable by the end of the day, this topical application might bring a noticeable degree of soothing comfort. Similarly, if you've been waking up with mild puffiness around the eyes or dealing with intermittent redness that isn't associated with infection or injury, some users report that this blend can help calm those superficial symptoms. Individuals who have experienced positive results often describe the effect as a gentle relief, a welcome comfort, or a subtle shift towards greater ease. Not necessarily a cure in the medical sense, but a tangible improvement in their daily experience. However, it is absolutely crucial to understand the limitations of such a home remedy. If your vision issues are more serious, or if you have been diagnosed with specific eye diseases, this approach is not a substitute for professional medical care. Conditions such as glaucoma, characterized by increased intraocular pressure that can damage the optic nerve, macular degeneration, which affects central vision, cataracts, clouding of the eye's lens, or any sudden and significant changes in your sight, including abrupt vision loss, the appearance of floaters or flashes of light, eye pain, persistent or intense pressure, or anything that feels alarming or out of the ordinary, require prompt and thorough evaluation by an ophthalmologist or other qualified eye care professional. Do not delay seeking professional help for these conditions in favor of trying only home remedies. That being said, gentle, natural remedies like the castor oil and baking soda application can sometimes work harmoniously alongside conventional medical treatments, provided you maintain open and honest communication with your healthcare provider. There is generally no harm in informing your doctor or eye specialist that you are trying a gentle, supportive measure at home, such as this topical blend. In fact, many healthcare professionals appreciate when their patients are engaged, proactive, and interested in complementary approaches that support overall comfort and well-being, as long as these do not interfere with prescribed treatments or mask serious symptoms. Another vital consideration is your individual skin and eye sensitivity. Everyone's body is unique, and just because a remedy is natural does not automatically mean it will be perfectly suitable for everybody. Pay close attention to how your skin and eyes feel both during and after application. Do you experience any persistent burning or stinging sensations? Does the skin around your eyes become unusually red or inflamed? Do your eyes water excessively or feel more irritated than before? These could be subtle signs that this particular approach isn't the best fit for your individual constitution, or that an ingredient may be causing a mild reaction. So, approach this remedy not as a guaranteed promise, but rather as a gentle possibility, an opportunity to explore something that is generally low risk and potentially helpful for mild discomforts, but never as a replacement for the comprehensive care and expert diagnosis you deserve, especially when facing significant eye health challenges. The ultimate goal isn't to bypass your eye doctor or to ignore potential red flags. The goal is to thoughtfully explore an additional avenue that might give your body one more chance to feel supported, naturally and gently. If you embark on this exploration with that mindful, curious, and careful mindset, you are far more likely to derive something meaningful from the experience, even if that something is simply a new and deeper understanding of what your eyes truly need most. Sometimes that insight alone can be more valuable than any single treatment. If you're managing a specific eye condition and have questions about integrating gentle supportive care, or if you'd like to share how you balance natural approaches with medical advice, please feel free to comment using the keyword balanced approach. Your experiences can be very helpful to others. 8. The unseen benefit. How caring for your eyes builds confidence and well-being in later life. It might, at first glance, seem like a relatively small, almost inconsequential thing. This simple idea of gently rubbing a little oil and specially prepared powder near your eyes before drifting off to sleep. Yet, for many individuals navigating the seasoned years between 65 and 85, that uncomplicated act of self-care can begin to symbolize something far more profound and impactful. This is because when our eyes, our windows to the world, begin to struggle, the effects often ripple out far beyond just the clarity of our sight. These changes can subtly, and sometimes not so subtly, affect our confidence, our sense of independence, and the very manner in which we move through and engage with the world around us. You might find yourself unconsciously shying away from activities you once cherished. Perhaps you stop reading as voraciously as you used to, not due to a waning interest in stories or knowledge, but because the effort becomes a strain. You might hesitate to drive at night, limiting your social engagements or your freedom to come and go as you please. You might even start avoiding intricate hobbies like needlepoint, crossword puzzles, or assembling models. Even something as fundamental as watching movies with loved ones or confidently making eye contact during conversations can become subtly compromised. This withdrawal is rarely because of a conscious loss of interest. More often, it's an unconscious response to a quiet, creeping doubt about what your body can still reliably do. A fear of stumbling, misjudging, or simply not being able to fully participate can lead to a gradual shrinking of one's world. That is precisely why even a gentle, seemingly minor routine like the nightly application of castor oil and baking soda can have such a significant positive ripple effect that extends far beyond the physical. When you dedicate even a few moments each day to consciously giving your eyes a little attention and care, you are sending a powerful, reaffirming message to yourself. That message says, I still matter. My comfort, my well-being, and my connection to the world still matter. I am worth this effort. And that simple, consistent reminder can do more to uplift your spirit and bolster your sense of self-worth than you might initially imagine. We hear this sentiment echoed frequently by seniors who decide to try this remedy or similar acts of gentle self-care, not just for the potential physical relief for their eyes, but for the accompanying boost to their overall sense of self. They share observations like, I feel more awake and brighter in the morning, or I just feel more like my old self again, more capable. And interestingly, sometimes the most significant benefit reported isn't directly tied to a measurable improvement in visual acuity at all. Rather, it's about the establishment of the routine itself, the mindful act of care, the reclamation of ownership over a small part of their well-being, and the quiet discipline of nightly attention. Let's be candid. When you can see the world around you more clearly, even if it's just a subtle improvement in comfort or a reduction in annoying dryness or irritation, you naturally start to carry yourself differently. You might feel a little safer and more assured when walking outside, less anxious about tripping over an unseen obstacle. You might feel more capable and less frustrated when reading labels at the grocery store or deciphering instructions. You may find yourself feeling more present and engaged in conversations, able to fully take in facial expressions and nonverbal cues. That kind of clarity, both in literal sight and in the broader sense of spiritual and emotional well-being, is an immeasurable gift, and it often begins with the simplest, most unassuming actions. Not because these actions are universally perfect or guaranteed to work for everyone in the same way, but because they serve as a tangible reminder that your health, your comfort, and your vitality are still, to a significant degree, within your hands. It is truly never too late to make small, positive changes that lift you up, to dedicate 5 minutes each day to the care of your precious eyes, and to cultivate the belief that improvement, no matter how small or incremental, is still possible. That belief, in and of itself, is a powerful catalyst. It builds confidence, and confidence, in turn, builds a richer, more engaged, and more joyful quality of life. So, if you've been feeling somewhat disconnected from your health, or perhaps even from your own reflection in the mirror, this gentle approach could represent one quiet, unassuming step back towards yourself. Not flashy, not dramatic, just a peaceful return to nourishing the parts of you that still yearn to thrive and experience the world with comfort and clarity. If you're still journeying with us through this exploration and finding these insights valuable, please let us know by commenting with the number 8 below. We truly appreciate knowing you're here and engaged. And if you haven't yet, please consider subscribing to our channel and ringing the notification bell. Your support is what allows us to continue creating and sharing content that aims to inform, uplift, and inspire you. As we draw this discussion to a close, take a moment to reflect on what aspects of this exploration resonated most deeply with you. Was it the inherent simplicity of the proposed castor oil and baking soda remedy, a nod to the gentle yet persistent power often found in natural ingredients? Or perhaps it was the overarching reminder that even now, in this season of your life, your body remains worthy of dedicated care, still open and responsive to healing influences, however subtle they may be. Which of the 8 points we've journeyed through, From the soothing nature of castor oil to the confidence building aspect of self care, spoke most directly to your current experience or aspirations. Was there a particular insight that made you pause and think, that's me? Or, that's something I could try? Whether it was the relatable stories shared by others in your age group offering reassurance that you are not alone in facing the common visual changes associated with aging, or the empowering idea of trying something soft, safe, and self-directed from the comfort of your own home. Your personal takeaway from this is what truly matters. This conversation has ultimately been about much more than just eyesight. It's been about fostering confidence, about reestablishing a connection with your own innate ability to nurture your well-being, and about the possibility of improvement, even in the quietest and most gentle of ways. We would be genuinely delighted to hear your thoughts. Please take a moment to leave a comment below and let us know one key thing you learned or found particularly interesting today, and perhaps how you might consider using that insight in your own life. Your reflections are important to us. They create a vibrant community of shared learning and support. Reading your comments provides us with great motivation and encouragement to continue this work. And remember, if this article has helped you in any way, if it has provided even one useful idea, a moment of comfort, or a spark of hope, please consider showing your support by hitting the like button, subscribing to our channel if you haven't already, and perhaps sharing this with someone else in your life who might also find it beneficial. Thank you for investing your time with us today. The journey of self-care, especially as it pertains to something as precious as our vision, is indeed a continuous one. It often begins with small, manageable steps. We look forward to hearing from you in the comments and seeing you in our future content, where we'll continue to explore ways to live well and thrive at every age.